Hey everyone, Dr. Joshua Kai. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to connect with you here in our community. And this is video number 2 in the series that I just started, which basically I'm talking about and sharing my experience and my thoughts on how to create your best life possible. And especially in these changing times where things are changing rapidly. We have more and more technology rolling out, more so than ever, faster than ever. And so everybody is, not everybody, but a lot of people are concerned about, what are the implications and effects of technology? What are the implications and the effects of our healthcare? What are the implications and effects of, things that are moving rapidly and coming out rapidly. And there a lot of people are concerned about how it impacts them personally, their health and wellness, and rightly so. So those are all things that we need to think about, and so it's worthy of discussion. So the things that I like to focus on in every possible or at every possible opportunity is to stay solution oriented. And so how can I make this a positive thing? How can I make this a positive thing in my life and for other people as well? So I know that there have been a lot of discussions in our community and around the world, our global community, about advancing technologies, and is it good for us? Is it bad for us? Or how is it good for us and how is it bad for us? I mean, obviously there are some very obvious advantages of technology and advancing technology. We're able to stay more connected in the way that we are here and being able to connect with each other, through technology and stay connected and have that readily accessible to us, which is really fantastic. It does. There's so many benefits to that, and we all, in one way or another, benefit from that. And then there's other concerns that people have about technology and about the effects of technology on our physical bodies, our mental bodies, emotional, energetic, that kind of thing. So, kind of moving forward or discussing forward, if you will, on from video 1, I want to parlay that into this discussion about how can we stay solution oriented and how can we um, do our part to powerfully and positively influence, everything that's going um, on our planet right now. And so it's very tempting, in our human nature, in our humanness. Even for me, it's very tempting to sort of be cautious, be resistant, to have some level of fear about whatever it is at some point in time, to be against something, which is resistance, more resistance, right? So it's very tempting, and the way that we can, the reasons why I believe that those things come up for us as evolving human beings is that in those moments we can bring to our awareness exactly what is happening. Like I'm being, I'm experiencing resistance. I'm experiencing fear. I'm experiencing, you know, um, duality consciousness. I feel like something's being done to me. I'm at somebody's mercy. These kinds of things. And then from that conscious awareness standpoint, that's when we can say those are kind of old paradigm programs, and they don't really serve anything but themselves. So fear just kind of serves more fear. Um, Resistance just breeds more resistance. So how can I serve myself and others on our planet in a very powerfully positive way now that I'm aware that these things are coming up for me? Now what? So what I have experienced throughout my own evolutionary growth process is that we can, in fact, pretty much use any situation or circumstance for for good, for to be a powerfully positive change agent, right? So even for things like advancing technology, there are ways because for example, I mean, one of the hot topics is however many G's there happen to be, in terms of cellular uh, avenues of using cellular technology and Wi-Fi technology and all that, 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, whatever G we're on, and they're rolling out faster and faster, right? So one of the main concerns is how that frequency can cause and what comes with it is an incoherence, right? So that's one of the main things. So, but it's like anything else, it's like water. Water can become uh, incoherent or less coherent, and then when you're putting the intentions into the water of the highest vibrational frequency of divine love, peace, and joy. And then, so again, going back to like Dr. Emoto's experiments where, he saw that when they were labeling or speaking love over water crystals, that the outcome was a cohesive pattern. So, I believe that you can do that with anything. It's just energy. Everything is energy. So I've already talked about that, right? If it's a universal law and everything is energy, then that's true for everything. It doesn't matter if we're talking about water, if we're talking about G's, if we're talking about healthcare, pharmaceutical intervention. It doesn't matter if we're it just doesn't matter. It's what matters is what we co-create with that. So we can co-create um, incohesiveness, or we can co-create cohesiveness. And ideally, if enough people wake up and realize how powerful they are, and that they can use their power for good, so to speak. Sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Use your power for good. You can, put your intentions into these things. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was something really cool that we have here at the home that I discovered, and is such a blessing. And I believe that I probably attracted it into my life experience because of my work with quantum prayer. And I just believe that putting out high vibes and positive um, well wishes and prayers for people, places, and things is one of the most powerful things that you can ever do, and it has such a powerfully impactful vibration to it that it is masterful co-creation. So one of the things that we have here at home is something called FLFE. It's also affectionately called Fluffy, or Focused Life Force Energy. So what these folks have done is, and it's just a couple of guys who figured out that they could generate this focused life force energy and put programs into it to raise or I should say they figured out that they could focus this life force energy, raise the level of consciousness of a focused point in time, whether it be an address or longitude, latitude, a cell phone number, just some unique indicator that they can use, and they can raise the level of consciousness at that point, and then also add some programming to that. What they call it programming, but for me, being the quantum prayer guy, I mean, it's basically you're putting high vibes into it. You're saying, you're putting the intent into that energy form of optimal health and wellness, optimal well-being, unconditional love, peace, and joy. So they have like a base level of love. So if you're familiar with the Dr. David Hawkins scale of consciousness and levels of consciousness, we talked about in video 1. Level 500 is love, 540 is unconditional love, and above that you have peace, joy, and enlightenment up to 1,000. Okay, so their basic level is just at the level of love, which they did a lot of work up front to put that as many places on the planet as possible. Now, I don't claim to know about their technology. It's a proprietary thing, so I don't think that they publish exactly what that technology is. But the main thing is that it is generating this powerful energy and frequency of this high level of consciousness, high level frequency intention for people, places, and things. So to me, that's just an incredible accomplishment. I totally support these guys. We have this stuff here at home. You can use your home address. You can use your cell phone number. It's just a unique identifier, and then it's set up to kind of encompass a radius in all directions around you, or that specific point that you choose. So it's a very interesting technology that is being used to empower and in a powerful way to assist humanity and our planet and actually raising our level of consciousness and raising our vibrational frequency. And there's a difference there between level of consciousness and vibrational frequency, but the intent for me is a vibrational frequency of doing good in the world. Okay, just anytime that you can put something positive in the world at a high level of consciousness, it's an energetic thing. Okay, because everything is energy, so there's a vibrational frequency to doing that positive work in the world, which I absolutely am so grateful. I'm so thankful for and appreciate that these guys have basically poured their life work into this, and so they were able to get to a point where they were offering this service to people, and it's for me. I know everybody has their relative perspectives on that, but they offer people anyway a 15-day free trial that you can try, and I'm gonna give you the link in my description of this video, and you can read up on it. You can go to their website, check it out, do whatever you like. But basically, these guys are, and their group of people that they've put together, their team, are basically working to put these high vibrational intentions into this, and put as much of that out into the world as possible, using technology. Although the intent is not something that you could describe necessarily with technology. I suppose you could, but when I think of it as these guys are putting out high vibes. They're raising the levels of consciousness. It's all based on your own, free will. So it's not like there's no harm in just putting a level of consciousness of love someplace. You can receive it or not. It's totally up to you. So there's no putting anything out there that people may not want. It's totally up to you. You can walk into any environment and decide whether you're gonna receive something or not. We all have free will and free choice, and so but what it does is, for people who are receptive to that and would welcome high vibrational intentions and a raising of levels of consciousness, and to just immerse themselves in a level of consciousness, that's it just is fantastic. So, I mean, a lot of us in our community have traveled to, sacred places where the level of consciousness is high or the vibrational frequency is high. Mount Shasta, Stonehenge, you can name any number of places where, people, the pyramids of Bosnia and so on and so forth. You can, name any number of places where you can go, and the level of consciousness is a bit higher there. The how do I say it? The vibrational frequency, it holds a certain frequency there. It's imprinted with the frequency of love or peace or joy or prosperity. There's all kinds of things, that positive high vibrational things that people kind of go and seek out at sacred sites. So it's kind of, when I think of it personally, I think of it like making your home or your area around you is kind of like your own sacred site. And then you've got somebody or you've got something in place that's basically putting out this level of consciousness 24/7. So for me, what could be better, right? Because even with my quantum prayer list, when I add people to my quantum prayer list, I believe that, or when people ask to be added to my quantum prayer list, I believe that everything in the quantum realm, there's no time associated with that. Everything is happening at once. So just that intention of even acknowledging and receiving that you want to be included in that, and having your awareness that exists and exists for you, and then those positive intentions of not just my positive intentions, right? Because really it's all of the collective positive intentions. I think it's incredibly, incredibly powerful. So I can't, sit cross-legged and pray over the quantum prayer list 24/7. And I don't believe that that's necessary. I believe it's there for you, and you receive it if you want it. And then, these guys are doing just an incredible thing with the focused life force energy, and just having those programs um, uh, programs working 24/7. So, if you have it on your house like we do, it's supporting that level of consciousness, and then anybody who is here at the house supporting that level of consciousness. For them, it's an environment. So anytime you're in an environment that's at a higher level of consciousness, you have access to those things that are available at that level of consciousness, and you can choose whether or not you want to tap into that or not, or receive that or accept that. Just like if you go to a sacred site and that level of consciousness is there, and you're immersing yourself in that environment at that level of consciousness, that everything at that level of consciousness that's available there, you can receive it or not. That's totally up to you and your higher self, and whatever it is you believe for yourself, your own personal beliefs. So, but it's great to know that it's available, and then as we evolve and we grow, to have that there supporting us is incredibly phenomenal. So, I promised I was going to make this video shorter than yesterday. So one of the things that I really wanted to share with you that I absolutely love about the focused life force energy, guys, is that for everyone who decides that they want to bring it into their that they want to bring it into their home or put it on their cell phone, and has a subscription to that, they give you a free, what they call, pay it forward, so that you can choose anywhere in the world that you want, as long as it has a specific address or a specific longitude, latitude. I believe that's the basic criteria. You can you can give that it's called pay it forward. So you can actually go ahead and give that address or that longitude, latitude, that location, and have the focused life force energy focused on that particular point, address, or longitude, latitude forever, for forever, as long as they're able to operate, which hopefully is forever. It's going to be focused there. So you can choose, a friend or relative's house. You can choose a hospital or a school. You could choose something. Ideally, you want to pay that forward someplace where it could be of the best use, right? So you don't necessarily want to put it someplace where there's already a high level of consciousness. This is going to put a level of consciousness of 500, which is love, in that environment of that space. So well, I could say not that you don't want to, but the better use of it would be to put it someplace that could benefit from a raising of level of consciousness to the level of 500 or love. So it might be someplace that's distressed, or someplace that has a lower level of consciousness. It could be someplace where there's been a family history of low level of consciousness, or just you name it, like any place. So one of the really great things that we could do at this point in time is, instead of resisting things that are going on right now, and resisting things that we would probably rather, that if we could choose not to have it be in existence, or not to have it be that way, one of the things that we can do is kind of focus our intent for this higher vibrational frequency and this higher level of consciousness, at that point of interest. So, lots of people do things like, they'll choose farms, or anything, any place that you can think of that produces something that could impact potentially extremely large numbers of people, is a good place to focus that, right? Because you're going to have if it's a manufacturing plant or facility, or if it's a farm, or if it's something where something's being produced that generally serves a large part of the population. Focusing that level of consciousness there is surely going to support a higher level of consciousness there, and put that level of consciousness of love there. And so, I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, why? It just seems like such a fantastic opportunity. So not only is it something that we do here at home, I'm just as excited about the pay it forward part of it, where I get to do that I get to pay it forward to some place, or some address, or some longitude, latitude, where I feel like it can make an incredible difference. So there's no lack of places on the planet that could benefit from a raising level of consciousness up to 500, that level of love. And it's just something that I feel really compelled to share, because it's such an easy thing to do. There's a lot of times in situations where we feel like a situation is overwhelming, and we're not sure what to do, and we start to get into that space of resistance, and we wish this didn't exist, and what can I do? It's easy to forget that how powerful we are, and that there's always a powerful solution, positive solution. And so one of the things that the FLFE does is it makes things coherent. So, or it supports coherency where things are incoherent. So when you're talking about things like Wi-Fi and some of the incoherency that comes with that, one of the things this does is it makes things coherent. So it supports coherency, I should say. I don't have the technical language to really explain everything, but hopefully you get the idea. Go from incoherent to coherent. It supports the coherent, and that's what we want in our bodies, right? We don't want things to be incoherent because they don't function at their best that way. We definitely want things to be coherent, and the more coherence we have, the healthier we are, the better off we are, the more we're able to function optimally and have our best life possible. So that's just something that I wanted to empower you with and share with you. It's something that we have here at home. It fits in beautifully with the idea of quantum prayer and just kind of having this high level of consciousness supporting you, um, just in a quantum way, such that it is just, function. It is just supporting and supporting you in the environment in that way, um, forever, ideally. So that's something that I wanted to share with you. I am going to continue my video series with hopefully things that can support you, especially during this time of change and times when we're questioning, what can we do? How can we, as things are changing, create our best life possible, contribute in the most powerfully positive way to humanity and our community, our neighbors, our global community, and our planet? How can we do that? There's just no end to the possibilities there of how we can help to create our best life possible and help others do the same. And that is the main focus of sharing these videos with you, to hopefully get that information out there, and so that more and more people can start to, along with the great shift, shift their perspective and their understanding and their level of consciousness to how we can positively, create our best life experience and impact the world around us. Which, nothing better if you can become aware of that and then start integrating that into your consciousness, and then actually putting that into use in your life in a powerful, powerful way. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and be on the lookout for the next video. And as always, I'm sending the highest vibes of divine, unconditional love, peace, joy, and enlightenment to you.